my channel. Tonight I am going to a Hawaii themed surprise birthday party, so I will be trying to make pina colada cupcakes for the very first time. Usually for specialty cakes and cupcakes like this, I come up with an idea and then I pull different well-reviewed recipes for different components of this idea. So for the actual cupcakes and the frosting, I'm going to be using Ina Garten's recipe, and then for the pineapple filling inside of each cupcake, I'm going to be using Taste Better from Scratch's recipe. Both of those links will be in the description of this video. Let's get started! I've already got my oven preheating to 350 degrees, and for this recipe, I'm going to need my stand mixer. And I am fitting this with a paddle attachment. To start, I'm going to be adding 3 sticks of room temperature unsalted butter to the stand mixer, and I'm just going to mix it until it's nice and fluffy. Next, I'm going to add 2 cups of granulated sugar, and I'm going to mix till that's combined. For my next step, I have 5 extra large room temperature eggs in this bowl. I'm going to add these eggs one at a time, and I'm going to be sure to scrape down anything that's stuck on the walls of the mixer bowl in between each egg. I accidentally dropped 2 in. I hope that doesn't make a big difference. This mixture is looking so big and light and fluffy and beautiful. Now it's time for me to add my extracts. I'm going to be adding 1.5 teaspoons each of vanilla extract and almond extract. Time to mix. I have set my stand mixer aside for the time being because right now it's time to work on my dry ingredients. Here I already have 3 cups of flour, and to this I'm going to be adding 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a half teaspoon of baking soda, and a half teaspoon of kosher salt. Now for this next step, I'm going to be alternating between sifting in my dry ingredient mixture and mixing in my buttermilk. The reason why I put buttermilk in quotes is because I rarely buy buttermilk. Pro tip: if you don't have buttermilk at home, you can do what I always do and just use some sour cream. You do want to water it down a little bit though, so since this recipe calls for 1 cup of buttermilk, I usually do a ratio of 3 to 1. I put 3/4 of a cup of sour cream in here and then a 1/4 cup of water, and I mix it together. This has always worked for me, so hopefully it'll work for you too. So again, I want to alternate between the dry ingredients and the buttermilk, but I want to start and end on the dry ingredients. What I usually like doing is sifting directly into the mixing bowl. So I'll just do this, see if I can fit. Yeah, and then just sift it in. And I'm gonna do 1/3 of the dry mixture, then half of the buttercream, 1/3 of the dry mixture, half the buttercream, and then I meant buttermilk. End on the last 1/3 of the dry ingredients. Lastly, I've measured out 7 ounces of sweetened shredded coconut, and I'm going to gently fold this into that. Now that my cupcake batter is all done, I'm going to be scooping it into my prepared cupcake tins. Usually I fit like maybe 3 heaping tablespoons into each liner. So I have finished filling my cupcake liners. I have easily filled almost 4 dozen, which is great because there's gonna be at least 20 people at this party tonight. Bad thing is, I don't know if I have enough ingredients for the pineapple filling and for the frosting to complete all 43 cupcakes. So I'll just put these in the oven and I will worry about it later. So these are gonna go in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 to 35 minutes. In the meantime, I'm gonna be making my pineapple filling. To start, I'm gonna measure out 2/3 of a cup of sugar. Next, I'm gonna add 20 ounces of crushed pineapple. I'm gonna need a bigger saucepan. The only other time I've ever used crushed pineapple, by the way, is to make pineapple shortcakes, which coincidentally I also have a video on. So if you have not checked that out, you can watch it here or there somewhere. I'm just gonna transfer this over to something bigger. Lastly, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Now I'm going to move all of this to the stove and cook it for 5 to 8 minutes until it's all combined and smooth and glossy. I have have some finished cupcakes here and my cold pineapple filling. And what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to cut a little hole in each of the cupcakes, spoon a tiny bit of filling in, and then close the cupcake back up. After that, then I'll make the frosting. Let's try this out. Just gonna scoop this out. That is looking pretty good. This is pretty similar to what I do with my chocolate truffle cupcakes. Like, I'll bake the chocolate cupcakes and I'll make truffle, and then I will just cut a little bit of the cupcake out, spoon some truffle in, and then cover it back up. You can buy chocolate truffle cupcakes from me at my website, tinyurl.com/catsbakes. All right, let's see if I can fill all 43 of these cupcakes. Successfully all 43 of my cupcakes, and I have a little bit of pineapple filling left to spare. The last step is for me to make my frosting, which is also part of Ina Garten's recipe. So for our cream cheese frosting, I am taking out my stand mixer again, and I'm going to be using the paddle attachment. Now, Ina's recipe says to just dump all the ingredients in at the same time and mix it till everything's smooth. I think what I'm gonna do is beat the cream cheese first, then add the butter, and then her recipe says to use vanilla and almond extract, but I tasted some of the cupcake crumbs and I actually feel like the almond taste is just as strong as the coconut taste in the cupcakes. So because I don't want to overdo it on the almond, I will be omitting the almond extract in the frosting. So after the cream cheese and the butter, I'm gonna add just vanilla extract and then powdered sugar. Now the recipe says 1.5 pounds of powdered sugar sifted. I feel too lazy to sift today, so I'm not gonna do that. And usually what I do is, since powdered sugar is the last step, I add some in and then I taste as I go. Because I'm omitting the almond extract, I'm gonna add an extra 1/2 teaspoon. So it's gonna be 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. Alrighty, so I have finished making my cream cheese frosting. I put some of it into my biggest reusable piping bag and I fitted it with a closed star tip. I'm just gonna try decorating one cupcake first and seeing how it goes. I'm gonna take a maraschino cherry chopsticks and I'll just plop one like right on top. It's cute! This is so cute! I am very happy about this very simple yet effective design. If I had more time, I would buy a pineapple and cut up slices and like also put a little slice on the cupcake, but this is just gonna do for now. Why don't we do a taste test? Okay, definitely don't want to put more cream cheese frosting than this amount. This is just enough. Got some pineapple, that's good. Now I've really gotten a bunch of pineapple chunks. That's really nice. This is a good cupcake. All right, I am off to decorate the rest of the cupcakes. So here are my cupcakes. This is my handy dandy cupcake carrier. It can carry 24 cupcakes, and I haven't finished decorating the rest of the cupcakes yet, but I think I'll just try to finish decorating as many as I can and carry that in something else. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I think this is a really great summer cupcake. It honestly wasn't that hard to make. It's just a few different components, so make sure you have ample time to make the cupcakes. And if you do end up trying out these cupcakes, please comment below and let me know how it went. That's it for today's episode of Cat Tries to Bake. Be sure to follow me on my socials if you don't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye!